couldn't have brought you in at a more appropriate time. The Defiance County Veterans Office sponsoring the national anthem. Wow, it's a warm day today, despite being January. Temperatures pushing 50 degrees. Normally you would say the heat, even dare I say the humidity of the pool on deck or in the upper deck would be welcome, but man, it's a sauna here tonight. Welcome aboard. Does Ayersville's pool have an official name?
I don't think so. I think it's just called the Ayersville Natatorium.
Welcome to the Pilots Natatorium. Brent Balbinot alongside Josh Bush. Less of me and more of him tonight is what you're going to get as we get a fantastic meet as the Pilots. And let's see, it will be Defiance, it will be Anthony Wayne, and then we've got Lima Central, correct?
Lima Central Catholic.
Yep, correct.
And we got senior night tonight for Tenora and Defiance. As you see, Lucas Bennett, the Tenora swimmer.
Everybody's favorite.
He's as I told you, my daughter was a swimmer for a long time, and he's just one of those super nice kids that everybody loves, and it's always great to see them recognize the seniors, and we're going to get the Defiance seniors coming up here too.
Two seniors, both females, for the Defiance. Our first is going to be Mia, and is it Jarena?
I believe so.
Yes, exactly. Mia being recognized, and then up next we've got Jasmine Rodriguez.
Yeah, these girls have come a long way in the last couple of years. They haven't swam maybe as long as some of the other kids on the pool deck, but have certainly put their time in. And when you have that senior swim season, it's always a little special. Senior season for any sport, it's always a little special.
And here comes Jasmine alongside her mother, who said she put her camcorder right next to our table because she wanted to hear Josh Bush's in-depth and entertaining analysis tonight.
Well, she's in for a treat tonight because I don't know how well that's going to go, but yeah, no, this is a change of venue. This meet was supposed to be the Defiance YMCA, but as we all know, they've been going some
remodeling,
renovations. I think at this point you would say a major renovation.
Basically a rebuild from what you were telling me.
Yeah, I've had a great couple of conversations with their new executive director at the YMCA, and he's a tremendous guy. And they've done everything from repainting to replacing the Dactron unit that changes some air exchange unit, new filtration system. They fixed some leaks that were in the pool. I mean, so you're looking at basically a whole new pool. And as we see now, Ayersville is having a parents' night tonight. So
I believe this is Danny Coble, one of the sophomores. Talk about numbers
that is
here. Got somebody else?
Yeah. I'm drawing a blank right now. I apologize.
It's all right. Go ahead and use the open book test.
That is going to be Addie Comden.
Addie, my apologies. Peace and love, Addie. Peace and love.
Yep. This will be Miss Boyd. This will be Claire Boyd. That's out in our camera shot right now. I think we're a little bit behind the announcers, so I believe this is Maxon.
Ayersville has 9 females. Check that. 9 males and 10 females out. That is 6 times what they had last season.
Yeah, and that's a credit to head coach Nicole Bowman and the way that she's come in with this program over the last couple of years. And she's a dynamic coach. My daughter, as I was telling you, did some one-on-one workouts with her the last couple of years of high school, and she really connects with the kids really well. She just has a really good rapport with these kids, and it shows, because in a couple of years, when you grow numbers like that in a sport like swimming, it's hard to get numbers, period. And to grow the numbers like they have is really something special.
We just saw Hibbard. This is Mannon, excuse me.
Yeah.
So,
trying to follow Jared along, and I think he's a little ahead of us.
He might disagree, but
no, we want to say a big thanks to them with the change of venue. Jared Stober, the athletic director here, Phil Liebright, the IT guy. made sure we had a good internet connection down here, that everything was set up and ready to go for us, and we can't do that without their help.
Without question, that is an understatement. This is Gabrielle Miles, one of the seniors on Ayersville's roster. Almost losing Dad there. Dad electing to go barefoot.
I'm going to guess he's going to be timing tonight. And if you've never been on the timers area,
don't want to muck up the deck.
Well,
and it's very slippery.
It's a wet surface.
Yes.
You don't want. I made the mistake. I think I got drawn in one time when I came to a meet late, and they said, "Hey, you're going to time tonight," and I said, "Okay." I had jeans and tennis shoes on, and I had to throw those. I mean, everything was. You're soaked up to your, up your shins and everything.
Did you lose a little bit of water weight that night? Did you?
Probably. Yeah, it's a little warm.
Here comes the Coble sisters. I was just jumping the gun.
Yep.
Earlier.
Those are two young ladies that have been swimming a long time and have put a lot into this sport and other sports. So they're
still got a handful here left to go. Here comes the boys. More than just a couple of interesting sidebars for the boys here tonight, too, Josh. They've got two or three. They've got a couple of individuals. They've got a relay that are right now flirting with state qualifying times. So Ayersville clearly going to be the smallest school at the meet here tonight, but they are testing themselves against one of the better teams, not just in the northwest portion of the state, but in Ohio, period, and Anthony Wayne.
Yeah.
Very strong swimming program. So this ought to be a fun one here tonight. You've got, I don't want to say David versus Goliath, but you got big school versus little school.
Yeah, and, swimming's always an interesting sport because obviously you compete for team points, but you're also competing individually in your events, and that's kind of one of those things that makes swimming one of those unique sports.
Yes.
It's an individual sport and a team sport all at the same time. So, even though they're a smaller school, they're going to have the opportunity to compete in some of these events. They may not have enough kids to get, and there's the team part of it, right? You're not going to get enough points from start to finish to win maybe as a team, but you can compete individually, you can compete in the events, and your kids can do well individually and get your points for the teams. You just don't have enough swimmers to be able to, you're limited on how many events you can enter in each swim meet. You're limited on how many places get points and how many kids get points in each meet or each event. So there's a lot of things that keep you from scoring a lot of points when you have that smaller group of kids.
Up next, I'm hearing Mason Doda's name being called. Mason Doda, a very interesting study. You see the tape on both knees. He had a serious knee injury last spring, kept him out of track. And they asked him, do you want to give it a try this year? And he said, try and keep me out of the pool. He has been really a good inspirational story. And on top of that, look for him in the fly, the 50, and the relay. His times are, again, potentially going to be good enough to get him to state.
Yeah, and that's a young man that when he started swimming, I remember him when he was in 8 and under swimming at the Y, and you always ran what they call a clerk of course. So you gather all the little kids together, and it was always, okay, where'd Mason go? Because he was kind of squirreling around a little bit here and there, but has put in the work over the years, and you're seeing that pay off now for that young man.
Well, again, we got several individual events that we're going to keep an eye on, especially for the boys, but they've got a relay tonight, Josh, that's also going to try and set a school record. Again, thanks going out to Coach English, sending me a little bit of some backstories on their team, but their individual relay tonight comprised of Dylan Tressler, Mason Doda, Louis Zimmerman, and Levi Carrier. It's going to be the 200 free, the 200 free. The school record is 135.67, and their best so far this year is 136. So if you can shave, about 0.05 of a second off of that time, a record's going to be set tonight in their home pool.
Yeah, and that's a special thing. There's a record board, obviously, at every pool, and to get your name up on that wall with some of the best swimmers that have been in this pool over the years. And Todd Hall was up here talking to us before. His name is at one time was probably on there as his brother. 200 free. Well, the 200 free Mark Hall. That's his brother, who's going to be who's going to be our official tonight. And so some of these, you look at this: 82, 83, 2011. That's decades and decades of good swimming that's happened here for the Ayersville Pilots.
His name's up there. Remind me of that line in Fletch. Is it there? No? Well, it should be. All right, as we are getting set to start this thing off. We've had the seniors, we've had the parents being recognized. Time now to compete. Again, Defiance. Technically, they are the host team, even though their pool is not in operation right now. So 5 minutes down Dahmersville Road, turns into Ayersville Road. Ayersville will be hosting tonight. Defiance, obviously we've got the attached. And we have Lima Central Catholic and the Juggernaut here this evening, Anthony Wayne. Everybody's had their warm-ups. Everybody's been recognized. It's just after 5 o'clock, and we are getting set for meet time. Our first event on our heat sheet is going to be the girls' 200-yard medley relay. Defiance will put these four into the pool. The opening leg will be Jasmine Rodriguez. Halen Smith will be the second leg. Katie Miller the third, and Mia Jarena will be swimming the anchor. For Lima Central Catholic, Brielle Bork will open things off. She's a sophomore. Addison Lauk, a junior. Third leg will be Kendall and Bork, and Gianna Little, a freshman, will be the anchor leg. For Anthony Wayne, a lot of youth and a lot of talent. Emily Bigelow will be the lead leg. Tess Bublik will be swimming second. She's a junior. And a freshman, Quinn Bublik, and Ava Gardner. Then you've got a second Anthony Wayne relay team of Macy Gottschalk, Colleen Hildebrand, A.V. Lengel, and Ellie Sutter. And then you've got a pair of teams for Ayersville. Will be Gabby Miles leading things off. Gwen Hibbard will swim the second leg. Alyssa Coble third, and Claire Boyd the anchor. Team number 2 will be Adelaide Comden, Callie Sproul, Daniela Coble, and Avery Jones. So there's going to be somebody in every lane.
Yeah, and these are always a good way to get a meet going. It gets the teams ready to rock and roll. It gets the teams amped up. They're going to cheer each other on.
They were waiting on us. I see the deck official ask me. He gives me a thumbs up. He goes, "Are you guys ready?" And I'm like, yes, yes we are.
Let's go.
That is, they treat us better than we treat ourselves up here.
And that'll be Mark Call, the head official here tonight. Amy Grog is, I believe, the other official. I lost her.
She's down, I believe, just underneath us. Okay. Is that correct?
Yep, that's her. So she'll be starting. She'll be the starter here tonight, and then Mark on the far side will keep things running. I will tell you, these two are seasoned professionals. As we mentioned, Mark's name is on that board up there, and he is no stranger to keeping meets running really well. So.
All right, you heard the whistle. They will be in the pool. They've had their warm-ups, although just about everybody, it's been at least 15 minutes since the last team was actually in the pool. So you're going to see the backstroke to open up this relay. Now break us down here, because you see obviously the dolphin kick. There is a point at the pool where you have got to basically break the surface of the water.
Yeah, and that's the 50-meter mark, or that's going to be on the other side. So you see the yellow mark on the far end of the pool. So in a backstroke, you have to come out of the water before that spot on the other side. 200 here, so they're going to go off, and they're going to give out to the breaststroke. Will be the next stroke.
Pair of generals in the pools going neck and neck. Right now, the battle for first and second is a couple of Anthony Wayne's swimmers. Second leg here for AW, Tess Bublik and Colleen Hildebrand.
And this is where you get into the breaststroke and the butterfly. these are when you start to see a little more separation because those are the, you start with the freestyle, you go to the backstroke, and then from there you start looking at what other strokes are you going to start to swim. And this is where you start to see some of these teams set apart. And you can see the teams in lane 3 and 4. I believe those are the Anthony Wayne teams in 3 and 4. And they are really pulling away here in these two, in the two middles. And they're going to close out with the freestyle. You want a nice anchor leg on that freestyle to close everything out.
This will be Gardner and Suter for Anthony Wayne. And everybody else almost being lapped in a couple of situations here. He had 2:01.20 and 2:06.66 for the Anthony Wayne relays. And the number 1 relay, Gardner touches. She's just a freshman. 2:08.69, 2:16.45, so Anthony Wayne takes the top 2 spots. Lima Central Catholic will finish a rather distant 3rd.
Down here in lane number 2.
Little touching at 2:25.61. Defiance, followed by both of Ayersville's teams. So there we go. We are underway.
We are moving along here. Girls 200-yard freestyle will flip it over to the boys' turn now.
This is going to be, what do we got here? Defiance has a team of Ryan Essex, a freshman. Trig Tingle, you might remember the Tingles from last year. They were a couple of freshmen standouts. They're both sophomores, obviously, now. Finn Tingle and Hudson, is it Geisler? Geisler, yep. Another freshman. That's a lot of youth, 4 underclassmen. Anthony Wayne will send Seth Gregory. Landon Stoller will swim the second leg. Nate Yoakum, the third, and Garrett Smith, the senior, will be your anchor. They have a second team in Nate Barash, Sam Brose, Lucas Sauber, and Max Gottschalk. Ayersville, Kalen Foreman, Levi Carrier, Dylan Tressler, and Louis Zimmerman. In lane 5, it'll be Nolan Howell of Lima Central Catholic. Colin Frick will swim the second leg. The third leg, Lincoln Woods, Corbin Stewart, the anchor. And Ayersville has a second team of Dylan Phipps, Sam Brown, Mason Dota, and Jaden Veith.
And it looks like Anthony Wayne's team in lane number 3 will be the first back in the backstroke.
This is Sam Brose.
Taking that breaststroke, and you can see he's got his head tucked, nice and tight to the water. He's going to get a couple dolphin kicks before he surfaces, and out of the water he comes. And a little bit of a head bob there. You'll see a little bit of head bob. You want to try to stay a little more. If you look at the Anthony Wayne swimmer in lane 2, a little more sturdy with that head in and out of the water. And now we got a blazing fast butterfly in lane number 2. That's going to be
Nate Yoakum.
Nate Yoakum. He just made up all of what he was behind and then some. And credit to Dylan Tressler in lane number 4 for Ayersville is going to be right there neck and neck with
this
him.
This is interesting.
And this is what we've seen. This is Dylan Tressler, who's, again, started swimming when he was really young. And we're going to have a close one here between Ayersville and Anthony Wayne to close this one out as they head into the freestyle.
Anthony Wayne, as you can see, in lane 3. That's Max Gottschalk. And he's going to win by about a body length. But Ayersville, a good showing of themselves.
Ayersville's going to take this one.
Oh, I take that back. Wait a minute, lane 4, excuse me.
Yep.
Got my lanes mixed up there, so pardon me. Ayersville's going to win it by about a body length.
Yeah. Louis Zimmerman closed that last leg out for Ayersville, and then the Anthony Wayne team, Garrett Smith finished off for Wayne Trace in lane number 2. And then Lima Central Catholic down in lane number 5 coming in 3rd, followed by the second Anthony Wayne team, the other Ayersville team, and then the Defiance team finishing off the 6 here in event number 2.
So event number 2 now in the books. We move ahead. The girls 200-yard freestyle. Can have a couple of different heats here.
So you have heat number 1, 2 Lima Central Catholic and a Maumee Valley Country Day swimmer.
Maumee Valley Country Day, very small private school, just off of Reynolds in Toledo.
Yeah.
And if you blink, you miss it.
Yeah. So they'll be swimming, I would assume, with the Anthony Wayne team.
So this is Addison Lauk and Ray Newman of Lima Central and Clay Drerup from Maumee Valley. I'll tell you what, little Maumee Valley Day Country is giving themselves a very good showing here.
Yeah, and that's a young lady that came in with no time in this event,
Nope.
so sometimes it's hard to determine exactly how you're going to swim if you don't have a time, but hopefully with no time she hasn't burned it all in the first 50. She's got herself a few laps here.
Yeah.
4 down and back, if you will.
Right now, Drerup, and this would be Addie Lauk in lane 2.
And you know, this is one of those where 200 is not the 500, but you want to get a nice strong start. You want to have a solid pace in those middle 2, and then you want to save enough in the reserve for that final 50, that final 75. You want to really put the pedal down and finish off strong. And gets to that last 25, it needs to be a sprint, and we'll see how these young ladies hold up with coming in with no time.
Well, Drerup on that turn, now about a full body length of a lead. We'll wait and see how much she's got left in the tank.
Well, that's where this comes in too. As you extend this event out, those flip turns, you want to stay nice and tight and precise. You don't want the extra. And sometimes you think, oh, I'm almost there. You short yourself on the turn. You don't get quite as good of a push. And like you see there, Drerup in lane number 4 really had a nice push on that last flip turn. She comes down here still.
She's getting stronger. Yep, she has really paced herself well. And right now you don't see the kick nearly as strong for Addie Lauk of Lima Central. Most of it's upper body right now.
Yeah, and I always told my kids when they were swimming, it's so much easier to push yourself through the water than to pull yourself through the water. That kick has got to be so strong. And you can see Claire Drew up there in lane number 4. She's going to come home and finish nice and strong here in lane number 4.
Time of 2:24.50, and she wins by about a length of the pool. One more turn here. We haven't forgotten about Ray Newman.
Yep, just a freshman, so it's likely that she has a little bit newer to swimming, and she's going to be looking at this point. You know, you want to.
This is you versus yourself.
You versus yourself,
Yep.
yeah. She came in with a seat time of 3:44 and some change, so she needs to push herself here,
Yep.
and she's lost a lot of steam in these last couple of laps. She's got to really push herself on this last 25 if she wants to cut some time into that personal best. And it looks like she's picking up the pace a little bit here, and that's what you want to see. You want to see that continual growth. And I think she's probably going to glide in maybe about 8 to 10 seconds under her personal best, which is going to be a good swim for that young lady as a freshman.
Close, and there it is. She touches about 12 seconds better.
Yep.
So well done.
It's a really good swim for that young lady. Again, as a freshman, again, you're out there, you're competing in the event, but you also want to make sure that you're getting those personal best stickers, as we like to say. Put the sticker on your helmet. That's a good swim for that young lady.
Again, for those that have not competed in this sport, and you think, okay, the water, it should help aid you along. No, by probably about the second, certainly the third turn, your lungs are burning, your muscles are burning. I mean, it is a different kind of, I don't want to call it pain, but for lack of a better term, it's a challenge.
Yeah, and you know, I've had some conversations with some physical therapists, the guys at DPT. You know, they say they see a lot of swimmers because the fatigue that your body gets, and a a lot of times swimmers don't realize it because you're in the water.
Yeah.
You don't realize the amount of, you don't realize how much you're sweating because you're in the water.
Yep.
The water is usually pretty cool, but it does definitely takes a big toll on your body.
So heat number 2, this is Annabelle Cyrick from Anthony Wayne and Tess Bublik. They are doing battle. Kiera Salos in lane number 2. Actually, yep, there we go. So it's 1, 2, 3. And then they are bookended by a pair of Ayersville swimmers, Amelia Maxon in lane 1 and Gwen Hibbert in lane number 5.
So we got a couple of juniors, a couple of sophomores, and a freshman in the pool right now. And the freshman from Anthony Wayne is leading the pack in lane number 3. Again, we'll see how pacing comes up as they hit about the midway through this 200 yards. And this is when it becomes gut check time.
And again, how can you push yourself? Every sport's got a different manner, obviously with different demands on your body. I've talked to multiple coaches from football, controlled aggression. In baseball, I've heard it called relaxed focus. I've heard a couple of track coaches called basically putting the better step in front of the last step. What those all mean is the same thing, though. It's when you sync the body and the mind, the physical and the mental together, where it almost becomes automatic.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you're in the pool, we hear all the people screaming and hollering, but the swimmers will tell you,
how can you?
It's just kind of a blurry noise to them, and so they're more looking at, what are you telling yourself in the water? Because you're by yourself. You can look over to the side when you turn your head. You can see what your coach, if your coach is waving you on or whatever, but you've got to be in your head going, okay, I got to finish strong. I got to do this. I need a nice tight flip turn here. I need to finish strong on my last 25. I mean, all those things are what
Sure.
you got to keep yourself focused because it's just you in the water.
Annabelle Cyrick finishes strong, time of 2:12.60. And then her teammate in lane number 4, Tess Bublik, about 5 seconds behind her at 2:17.17. And the last Ayersville swimmer touches the pad as event number 3, heat number 2, is now in the books. We will go to the boys' 200-yard freestyle. And again, we'll have 2 heats here. A couple of Ayersville and a Lima Central Catholic swimmer. We will have Jaden Beath, Dylan Shook in lane 3, and Corbin Stewart in lane number 4.
Good starts for each of these swimmers, and again, starts and turns are where you can save yourself a lot of time by just getting those mechanics fine-tuned.
I'm looking up in the gallery here too, Josh. We have a really good crowd tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe it's just the last couple of years we hadn't noticed because everybody's kind of scrunched in over in Defiance. Here they've got, again, an upper deck and a nice set of bleachers here, and they're being used.
Yeah, and I saw as I was wandering around, I saw some shirts from Anthony Wayne and Van Buren and all these schools, Lima Central Catholic, Ayersville Defiance, obviously, all represented very well up in the bleachers. And you talk about the effort and the things that kids put in at practice, and it's easy to go, oh yeah, the football guys were hitting, and the baseball guys were hitting and fielding, and they're doing all this. These swimmers will tell you, 2 hours in the pool.
Yep.
And when my kids were young, it was great because they'd come home and they'd want dinner and they wanted to go to bed.
Tire them out.
But when you talk about coming into a meet or coming into a practice and your warm up is 1,500 yards or 2,000 yards, and then you swim another 2,000 yards, and then you do a 1,000-yard cool down or 500 cool down. These kids on strenuous meet days or on strenuous practice days, I mean, these kids are swimming 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 yards a night, and they're doing that 5 nights a week. That's a lot of effort that goes in.
Right now, Dylan Shook is making this pool his own in this heat. he is almost a full lap ahead of the other two competitors here.
Yeah, and you can see he came in with a time of 2:33.46.
He's going to destroy that.
He's going to set a new PR here. The other two swimmers, no time in this, so their first time competing in this event in a meet. And
wow, better than a 10-second best, personal best. Well done.
Yeah,
Dylan Shook.
That's a drop of just right around 11 seconds, like you said. It's a monster swim, and that's a sophomore that is, again, still trying to find his way, I'm sure. Again, I don't know how long that young man's been swimming, but, you know, again, that's a testament to putting in that hard work at practice so that you can come in here and, again, continue to earn those personal best every time you swim.
And the last two finishing up here, basically within an eyelash of each other.
Corbin Stewart from LCC and Jaden Veith from Ayersville finishing out that heat.
So heat number 2, we'll see a pair of Anthony Wayne swimmers in the first 2 lanes, Brennan Jenkins and Landon Stoller. Maumee Valley Country Day will have Freddie Mueller in lane 3. Elmwood will send Braden Miller to lane 4, and Bennett Ebert from Lakota will round out a full field.
Well, Freddie Mueller in lane number 3 coming in with the highest seed time here at just under 2 minutes. So we'll see what kind of pace he's going to bring up. And the beautiful thing about this, he's got a couple of swimmers that are just over 2 minutes on either side of him.
Yep.
So pacing-wise, they should be able to help each other out. But right now, if you look down in lane number 5, Bennett Ebert from Lakota is keeping tabs with the other 4 as well.
Everybody sub 29 at the turn. That is competitive.
That is a good first 50. Now we're going to get into how does the pacing look? How does this translate into the next couple of turns?
Still pretty tight. This is what you'd call pack swimming.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes you get into a groove like this, and the kids will tell you they love getting somebody next to them that is going to be swimming about the same pace because you're able to pace off each other. You can see that, you know, you tell them not to pay attention to who's next to you, but let's be honest.
But you do, you notice.
You may not look too much, but you know when there's a swimmer next to you, and if he pulls ahead a little bit, it's going to motivate you to maybe pick your pace up a little bit, push a little bit more. But again, it's a 200-yard event, so you got to make sure that you're saving some in the tank for that final 50 to 75.
Now, it all depends on your strengths and obviously your mindset. I remember watching an interview once with Michael Phelps, and he said the game plan in his first Olympics in the qualifier was to take a little something off and try and gain one of the 2 outer lanes to basically not allow what you just said, somebody to keep an eye on him. Now, that is somewhat risky. I know the higher percentage move is swim your best and stay in the middle of the pool, but there is strategy involved.
Yeah, and again, you know, when you see meets getting seeded, it usually seeds 3, 4, 2, 5, 1, 6. And we're going to have a great swim here.
Is this the young man from Elmwood that
Yep.
touches first?
Yep.
That is Braden Miller.
About almost 2 seconds off of his time, and that's
Man.
a great swim.
Really good swim.
So another very competitive event here for the boys. We're cooking right along.
We are. So we will move ahead to event number 5. Ladies back in the pool. 200-yard individual medley. Heat number 1, Claire Langen from Anthony Wayne. Check that, Lanahan. And Avi Lengel. And then we've got Ava. Ava, I wished I would have been able to meet you on deck to get a
Bauschlein.
Bushline? We'll go with
Van
that.
Buren.
We'll call her Ava B.
And she's currently leading in the first part of this 200 individual medley. Fly is first in the individual medley, so she's got a nice looking stroke. Head down, double dolphin.
Yep.
Transition into the backstroke. This is always a tricky transition.
She looks pretty smooth here. turn. And she's gonna surface a little early here, but
Yeah, and you know, the 200 IM, that butterfly is most swimmers will tell you, that's the hardest stroke to swim. You got to propel yourself out of the water. You're kicking in the really bizarre way. You got to get your arms above the water, bringing them back in, and it takes a lot out of swimmers. And flip turns don't always equivalent as well as you'd like them to, but going into the breaststroke,
she's giving a good accounting of herself as she is pulling away.
so
A little coaching from the upper deck. Three.
you know,
Got to break it.
the young coach that you saw there was the youth coach at Defiance for the Defiance Y for a long time, and coached my children when they first started swimming. So she's been yelling on a pool deck for a long many a years.
She gave him a challenge time that she wanted to see him beat.
And she would be the aunt of Adelaide Comden.
Which would be why she was yelling at Adelaide.
That would be why she was yelling down at Adelaide. So
all right, now everybody's going to be yelling out Ava B's name. Bushline, she's going to win this one going away. No time listed, so this one will be official at 2:34:17.
that's a really good swim for a swimmer coming in with no time in this
Really?
event. I mean, if you look at the seed times in the next one, she would be right in that next heat with the girls that do have time. So
2:53:12 is going to be recorded by Avi Lengel, and Claire Lanahan is on her last lap.
trying to finish off strong here. You see a nice strong kick from her, trying to finish this last 25 freestyle, and this is when it really kicks in. The 200-yard individual medley, I'll tell you, is one of the most taxing events. My kids always despised this event, if you will. So nice, good swim by all three of those ladies.
Yep. Second heat, and here we go. It starts at, let's see, are we on time here? No, not quite, but they're keeping it moving. Alyssa Coble in lane 1 from Ayersville. Adelaide Comden, also from Ayersville. Brooklyn Williams from Anthony Wayne. Addie Jaffe from Maumee Valley Country Day. And in lane number 5, Kendall and Bork from Lima Central. Or Lima Christian, excuse me.
Lima Central Catholic.
Like I said. Yeah.
It's like TCC with an L. Well, they give you abbreviations on all of this, so we have to kind of decipher who's who.
It's an alphabet soup.
Well, when you get to sectionals, it's even worse. There's 20 or so teams at each sectional, and you go, oh boy, who's who from where to the, yeah.
Yeah, that's your basically your answer for anything, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are waiting here. I'm not
Looks
sure.
looks like they're looking for some backup times on the Colorado timing machine. Sometimes
Got a glitch. Well, the whistle sounds here, so we're ready to go for heat number 2 of the girls' 200-yard individual medley. It's interesting to see how comfortable some swimmers are on that platform compared to others.
yeah. Well, and there's different styles of platforms. The kids, as they get a little bit further along, you'll head to BGSU where there's the track style, and then the question is always, Coach, where do I put the back? Because the back, for your back foot, your push block moves, and so most local schools don't have those track style starters blocks, so it's a little confusing for them. But yeah, I've seen a kid slip off of there before.
I was going to say, and you don't forget that.
No.
Brooke Williams in lane 3 from Anthony Wayne has gotten off to a good start.
Pulling away here in the backstroke. Flips over. It's a A nice turn at the far end.
Addie Jaffe in lane 4 is about a body length behind. We'll see if she can close the distance here when they switch to the next.
They're going to come back and they're going to switch to the breaststroke, so we'll see how these transitions look here.
Williams reached a little early. Her timing was a bit off. We'll see if Jaffe can take advantage of that. Both swimmers surfaced a little early there.
Yeah, and again, that's that fatigue factor that starts to set in. You've now done 50 yards of butterfly, you've done 50 yards of backstroke, and now you're flipping back over to the breaststroke. And again, as much as swimmers tend to not like the butterfly, the breaststroke's one of those that you're either really good at it usually or not so great at it, and you can either pick up a lot of time or you can lose a lot of time. And as you can see here,
I'd say Williams is gaining time.
Yeah, and
my goodness.
Real nice, keeping her chin tucked, pushing through the water, pulling out nice. And now she's going to try to finish strong here with the final 50 of the free.
Looks like she's got plenty in the tank too. She's done a good job of pacing herself, and she is really making this race her own. Jaffe looked like she slipped off the pad when she made her turn.
Williams is going to be shooting for that 2:32 seed time. Looks like she's probably not going to come in under that, but she's still going to have a really solid swim here in the 200-yard individual medley.
She's looking at 2:35-ish, 2:35:36.
It's a solid swim for her, and Addie Jaffe probably going to drop a little time here. She's going to be close to her seed time of 2:52. Looks like she's going to drop about 2.5 seconds. So,
well done.
Solid personal best for her.
2:49:98. And the rest of the swimmers coming home. As there you see Kendall and Bork in a time of 3:02:43. Lane 1 for Ayersville, Alyssa Coble, time of 3:02. Check that, 3:05:62. And in lane number 2, Addie Comden, 3:09:17. So the boys will get their shot at it, the 200-yard individual medley. Still have a little bit more to go individually before we get into the relays, folks.
Yeah, well, the freestyle relays are typically a little bit more towards the end of the meets. One heat of the boys' 200-yard individual medley here. We got Reeve Hardern from Anthony Wayne, a freshman in lane number 1. Camden Lengel from Anthony Wayne in lane 2. Ayersville's Louis Zimmerman in lane number 3. Seth Gregory of Anthony Wayne in lane number 4. Ayersville's Callan Foreman in lane number 5. And Lucas Sauber in lane number 6 from Anthony Wayne.
Right now in lane number 3, it's Ayersville's Zimmerman, who is putting on a pretty good performance.
Yeah, he's a young man that started swimming, I would say, when he was, 8, 9, 10 years old, and really got into the sport really well, and has found himself, there's a whole pack of boys that joined about the same time, and I think they've become pretty good friends and pool mates.
Zimmerman, I'd say a body length and a half right now as they are into the breaststroke. And he's doing this against some pretty solid competition.
Yeah, he's got a good showing here. He's going to come in just under 2 minutes on his split here. He's going to be probably a little off his pace for what he would like, but we'll see how he closes out on this final 50.
He's looking to beat a personal best of, 2:12:32.
He's going to have a really strong freestyle here in this final 50. But again, nobody around him to pace either is a little bit tougher to find your way down. He's going to come close to that. He's not going to take any time off here today, but He's going to have a really good swim against some good competition here in these Anthony Wayne swimmers.
He'll be almost a handful of seconds off of his best at 2:18.84, but still a strong showing here tonight. Pair of Anthony Wayne swimmers battling for second place. Second is going to go to Seth Gregory. And a time of 2:31.56.
And then Camden Lingle from Anthony Wayne coming in third.
Lucas Sauber from Anthony Wayne, just a freshman, will finish it up in lane 5. I will say this too, for Lima and especially Anthony Wayne, for them to make the trip over here, it's about an hour to come to basically the middle of the cornfields in northwest Ohio.
Yeah.
That's a tip of the cap to them to basically find the competition and still say, you know what, we're not too big, we're not too proud to come to you.
Yeah, and you know, they're probably not going to see each other at sectionals and districts.
Nope.
I believe swimming is still just 2 divisions. I don't know that they've changed that. Obviously, we've expanded so many different things in high school sports the last couple of years, but
So we're going to the girls 50-yard freestyle. Heat number 1, lane number 1, Ashlyn Cyrick of Anthony Wayne. Cadence Kelly Frew from Lima. Cadence Smith from Defiance. Harper Geisler from Defiance. And Gianna Little from Lima.
it looks like we got a scratch in lane number 1 is
Cyrick.
Cyrick is a no swim.
She's out warming up in the Maumee as we speak.
Couldn't find her way.
She really wanted a strong warm-up.
Now, the temperatures we've gotten, you might get a little
Yeah.
break in the ice. Be a strong finish here in heat number 1. Now we're getting into some of these sprint events, and nice job there from Harper Geisler of Defiance. 36:20, taking a little bit of time off of her personal best.
So heat number 2. We'll see Emily, is it Mannon of Ayersville, Mia Jarena of Defiance, Gabby Miles of Ayersville, Mia Leatherman in lane 4, Ellie Sutter in lane 5, and Chloe Spangler from Defiance in lane 6. A little bit of an interesting sidebar here too for Ayersville, Josh. Both these young ladies, this is their very first year in this event.
Yeah, and again, kudos to Coach English. I think I said Bowman earlier. That was before she was married. As I knew her for many years. But Coach English has really expanded the program here at Ayersville and done a nice job of getting some new swimmers to hit the pool.
And Gabby Miles is going to win this one in a time of 33:19.
It's about 0.2 of a second off of
Yep.
her seat time, so it's a nice solid swim. Obviously, you're not going to drop as many seconds in the sprint events as you would in some of the longer events, but 0.2. It's a solid swim there for that young lady.
So that is event number 7. Heat number 2 is in the books. We've got another heat. Matter of fact, we've got 4 heats for the girls in this event. Everybody wants to sprint. Brielle Bork from Lima. Quinn Bublik from Anthony Wayne, lane 2. Nora O'Shea from Anthony Wayne in lane 3. Katie Miller from Defiance and Halen Smith also from Defiance in lanes 4 and 5. And from Ayersville, Avery Jones in the far lane, lane 6.
So again, you transition from some of the longer events. Now, obviously, you're not going to see many of the same swimmers in the pool, but transitioning to some quicker events as Nora O'Shea from Anthony Wayne will take this heat, dropping a little bit of time there in lane number 3.
Also working a little water out of her rear. Cap maybe not quite as tight as she wanted.
As coach would say, stop turning your head so far.
You see her still kind of knocking her noggin around a little bit. She appears to be okay, none the worse for wear. So heat number 4, last heat of this event, sees Kiera Salos. Matter of fact, this is an Anthony Wayne buffet for you.
With seat times all sub 30.
Yep. Salos in lane 1, Bigelow in lane 2, Hildebrand in lane 3, Cyric and Cyric, Mallory and Annabelle in lanes 5, and Nora, I believe it's Pulhu in lane 7. Make that 6.
And this is going to be a tightly contested. You know, these ladies practice against each other every day. They've been just waiting for this opportunity.
These are your A-listers. And touching first in lane number 3, Colleen Hildebrand. A time of 26:72.
So all sub 30 seat times and all sub 30 finish times in that heat. That's a good swim, under 30 seconds in a 50-yard free for the ladies.
Well, up next we've got the boys in the same event. We're going to have a few extra heats in this one. Actually, just 2. Colin Frick of Lima in lane 1, Hudson Geisler from Defiance in lane 2, Dylan Phipps from Ayersville in lane 3, Nolan Howell in lane 4, and Ryan Essex in lane 5.
A couple of slips on the
I was going to say the
blocks.
same thing.
As you can see, the timers doing their best to keep the water off of there, but when you get some of these older blocks, they lose some of that tread and that traction on there. It's going to be a good swim here in heat number 1.
It's basically a sprint in the water, and we're seeing some of the best here tonight coming right at each other. In lane 2, it's Defiance, that is Geisler. And is he going to just edge Phipps of Ayersville? Fraction of a second. 29:10 versus 29:44.
Good swim by both of those young men. Again, sub 30 on the 50.
So heat 2, we're going to have a scratch. Okay.
Oh.
So Trig Tingle for Defiance will be in lane 1. Nate Barash from Anthony Wayne in lane 2. He's a senior, 1 of 2 in this event. Levi Carrier from Ayersville. Landon Stoller from Anthony Wayne. Another Anthony Wayne swimmer, Nate Yoakum, and Mason Dota from sophomore. So a pair of pilots. And right now, boy, this is the A-list heat here. Everybody within basically an arm's length of each other.
You can see Carrier in lane number 3 is
Carrier's got a slight lead, and he's going to.
Trying to hold that lead. 23:59.
Man.
That's 1/10 of a second off of his. No, excuse me. You added just a little bit of time.
Just a little.
But again, you're pushing 23 seconds. That is a solid time for that young man. And you could see, seeing these Ayersville swimmers, Brent, we talked about this before the meet, that relay that's going to be coming up later in the meet.
Looking forward to it.
You've got a couple of those freestyle swimmers that were in this event here, and you can see why they put those 50s together, and that's a solid team that you're going to get for this Ayersville squad.
We are going to take a quick break. We've got more of this meet, but
this is so what we're not seeing here is events 9 and 10 in a high school swim meet are men's diving and women's diving,
which we do not have this evening.
We do not have divers, so you're required to still give the swimmers the break.
Sure.
Because they schedule events for swimmers based on, when you can get back in the pool and, not be completely out of breath.
Now, we could have grabbed some parents and just had a cannonball competition, but no one took the offer.
You can see Dana Phipps down there. I think he would, one of our county commissioners, would do a really good job of, he doesn't even have a cap. He doesn't have any hair to. I got to give him a hard time. So hopefully he watches this later. So,
sir, I don't know you enough. I don't know you well enough to go ahead and
you can
joke with you. All I can say is I hope never to have to comb my hair with a towel one day. We're going to take a quick time out. We are back with more at Ayersville right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Superior Credit Union, a not-for-profit, member-owned financial cooperative. Visit superiorcu.com to find out more about joining the winning team at Superior Credit Union.
Stamball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stamball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948.
Law firm, we understand how overwhelming life can be after being seriously injured in a car accident. With over 50 years of experience, Arthur Law Firm has a track record of getting the results you deserve. When you don't know where to turn, get answers with Arthur. Call us today.
West Banco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused West Banco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
Back at the Pilots Natatorium in Ayersville, Brent Balbinot, Josh Bush. Now again, despite the fact that there is no diving basically listed for tonight's meet, Ohio High School Athletic Association rules, Josh, as we were talking about earlier, still required you to give the swimmers that 10-minute break. So that's what they're going to do here. We've got a little bit of downtime.
Yeah, and when you look at scheduling your swimmers, and when you look at entering them in their events, you don't put them in back-to-back events.
No.
At least if you're a good coach, you don't want to put them in back-to-back events. And so the meet is structured, as you see, girls, boys, some longer, and then we're going to get into the different. We're going to get the longer freestyles, then you're going to get the breaststroke and the backstroke, or the backstroke and the butterfly.
Then we'll get to the relays,
and then you close it out with the relays. So, as you stagger your swimmers out, it automatically gives them so much time between events. So, when it comes to an event where when you have a meet that doesn't have diving, you still take the break where the diving is. So that way, and as you can tell, the kids are still in the pool, as you can see. And that's just a matter of staying warm. You see it. If we were at the Defiance Y, you'd see them in the smaller pool off to the side, trying to stay warm, trying to stay loose. Here they've got the side pool that is kind of connected all in one here at Ayersville. But so you're going to see them not going hard, but just trying to stay loose and trying to stay warm. Especially when the pool water's 72 degrees.
Which is going to give us the opportunity to stay loose as well. So we're going to step out. We'll keep our video feed up, but we will bring our mics back up when the swimming portion of tonight's meet resumes. But for right now, enjoy the Ayersville Natatorium.
we're going to welcome you back as the girls are going to hit the pool deck here, are going to hit the pool here for the 100-yard butterfly. We've got 4 swimmers in this. Lane number 2, Alyssa Coble from Ayersville. And then 3 Anthony Wayne swimmers, Emmy Bigelow, Macy Gottschalk, and Chloe Johnson, all of Anthony Wayne in lanes 3, 4, and 5. But excuse me, it looks like Chloe Johnson is a scratch. So we've got 3 swimmers in the 100-yard butterfly, and the 2 Anthony Wayne swimmers in lanes 3 and 4 off to a good start here. And again, with the 100-yard butterfly, this first 50, not usually too bad, but then once you hit into that 75 and that 100, it starts to wear on your body a little bit, but you can see really good form. Nice dolphin kick, propelling them behind their arms. And we're going to have the finish coming up here. You're back.
I am. I had to get some caffeine. Didn't realize how long it was to
Get down and
to
back.
the foyer there.
So this is going to be Macy Gottschalk from Anthony Wayne with a time of 1:12:22. She's going to take a little bit of time off there in her finish.
Way to go, Macy.
We'll see if we can get our lanes to come up here. Yeah, there we go. We had some,
She spent a little bit of energy there. She's catching her breath a bit.
well, as you would expect in a 100-yard butterfly, this is one of those events where it takes a lot out of you by the time you get yourself through the pool.
You know what else does? The stairs from the upper deck downstairs to the main lobby can take a lot out of you.
So this will be the boys now, the 100-yard butterfly heat number 1 of 2.
Who's in lane 1 here? We have a young lady.
Oh, this is going to be Chloe Johnson, who missed her swim in the girls' event, so they'll let her swim. Mark Hall is feeling a little generous today, and going to allow her to swim in with the boys here. And
I like this, don't you?
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
let's see what you're made of, kid.
And sometimes when you get some not high school meets, but in the Y meets and some of those, they will actually combine some of the girls and boys events. So always fun for the girls to swim against the boys. Nate Yoakum in lane number 2, Sam Brose in lane number 3 from Anthony Wayne, both of those young men, and then Landon Graber in lane 4 from Lakota, and then Chloe Johnson of Anthony Wayne, the freshman, down here in lane number 1.
All right, so you've been through, you've probably got a little lactic acid in your muscles, depending on how many events you've swam. Obviously, you're trying to get recovery time the second you step out of the pool, but at what point, provided your coach hasn't overworked you and you're not in everything, does a meet like this maybe start to get your arms, your legs to feel just a little rubbery?
Yeah, and again, you want to be able to have enough time to recover. You want to be able to have enough time to stay warm, stay loose. That's what you're going to see, those side pools that are going all the time. And we keep getting a little obstruction of our scoreboard camera, so our times aren't not able to bring them up all the time. But
we're largely there.
we're from high above.
Yes, the perch. All right, up next, what do we got? Event 12 here?
Heat number 2. Mason Dota of Ayersville in lane number 1. Defiance's Finn Tingle in lane 2. Anthony Wayne's Max Gottschalk in lane 3. Dylan Tressler from Ayersville in 4. And Elmwood's Braden Miller in lane number 5.
I think this is the all-name heat. This one gets the crown.
This is going to be a strong swim by all these guys. And again, butterfly takes a lot out of your body. You've got to propel yourself above the water. Your arms are supposed to clear the water. most officials aren't going to get you too much, but
this one's shaping up to be pretty tight. Lanes 2, 3, and 4, all very close.
Finn Tingle, Max Gottschalk, and Dylan Tressler coming in. Looks like it's going to be Gottschalk from Anthony Wayne.
I think Tingle touched second. Tressler third. That was a very competitive heat.
Again, you see these young men who have been pushing themselves. They get kind of pacing each other in the next lanes. And you saw Finn Tingle mentioning to Mom, I think he earned a little prize for taking some time off today. So
what do you think that might be? What's on the line?
I think there was some money sign on that. So
really?
yeah.
I figured maybe like seconds at home for dessert or something like that. Holy cow. Money getting involved?
All right, it looks like we've got just 2 swimmers here.
This is the girls' 100-yard freestyle. Chloe Spangler from Defiance and Addison Lauk from Lima.
Lauk will take the early lead here on the first 25 coming out of her turn. And again, this is as much about pacing as anything else. You've now probably swam an event or two. And like you said, conditioning is going to start to come into play here. And
what also tends to go very early is memory. Got to make sure you turn on that camera. I'm just joking with Jasmine Rodriguez's mom. Giving her a little name drop here. One of a couple seniors for Defiance. She leaned over, and if I had known, I would have hit the start button for you. If you allow me next time, I'll either come get you or I will press only the appropriate button on your camcorder. Okay.
We usually don't let them play with the cameras, in case you're wondering. So.
It's hers, though. So in that case, you know what? I think she ought to fill out an application at DCTV. We are looking for camera people.
Solid swim there for Lauk, who came in with no time, 1:10.48. That's a nice 1:10 on 100 free, coming in with no time.
Spangler will finish.
The real expert is up here. They could probably tell you more about this swimming stuff than I can. I just got to watch her for 20 years. Seemed like 40.
She put that many years on you, did she?
Every day.
Okay. You know, we don't have an extra head set up here for her to rebut. So
she would probably be terrified.
I'm afraid if I gave her mine, I wouldn't get it back.
No, she claims she doesn't like to talk, but she'll talk your ear off.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Would she be honest?
She would probably be too honest to have a headset.
Too honest, okay. Like 7-second delay honest?
Yeah, second.
Okay,
yeah.
Got it.
No, I don't think it would be that. It would just be she was always her own hardest critic.
Most good ones are.
And as the kids would tell you when she helped coach on the deck, she criticizes just as much, and in a good way. You know, you've got to know what you're doing wrong and how you can get better in order to get better. Looks like we're going to have Nora O'Shea. Anthony Wayne in lane number 3 is going to run away with this one.
Without question. 107.53. So a little off her best. Apparently her cap was on a little tighter on this one. Oh, nope, wait a minute. She's still got a little water in her ear. You could see her knock her noggin.
Ayersville's Callie Sproul coming in second at 1:16.08. Followed by Emily Mannon of Ayersville. 1:24.25. She dropped almost 4 seconds on that event.
Good on her. Emily Mannon, the younger sister of former basketball player and now semi-color analyst Kirsten Mannon.
Yeah, she did a nice job a couple of weeks ago.
I'm looking for her. She's here in the crowd. I saw her and her father. They have taken a seat perched high in the upper bleachers. And I said, so what can you tell me about her? And Kirsten, being Kirsten, she goes, she's a lot more low-key. I'm much more energetic than her. And I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like, okay. And that was all I could get out of older sister.
Heat number 3, the final heat here. The girls 100 freestyle. Tess Bublik from Anthony Wayne in lane number 1. Ava B from Van Buren in lane number 2. Mallory Cyrick, Anthony Wayne in lane number 3. And Anthony Wayne to finish it out. Brooklyn Williams in 4, Ava Gardner in 5, and Macy Gottschalk in lane number 6.
It's pretty much an Anthony Wayne buffet. When you come to some of these smaller meets, though, that's exactly what you get to do with your team.
Yeah, and from a team standpoint, and I don't remember exactly what it is, it's been a while, but not everybody can score. You can only score so many swimmers from a team in each event. And so
at this point, you're just talking about testing yourself.
yeah,
right?
absolutely. These kids are going to be looking for, it's hard to believe that we're talking about this, but sectionals are going to be about a month away from here. I mean, they're usually the first couple of weekends of February.
Mallory Cyrick takes care of business. It doesn't even look like she's breathing heavy.
It's a nice solid swim there at 59.13. Under a minute for the 100 free. But again, you're getting to that point now where you're at the final half of the season, if you will. You're down to that last month. Swimmers are going to start pushing themselves, and then you start to taper ahead of sectionals. This is a crucial time for these swimmers to fine-tune all of the mechanics.
So the boys get their turn here.
Boys 100-yard freestyle, heat 1 of 2. Reeve Harden from Anthony Wayne in lane 2. Nolan Howell from Lima Central Catholic in lane number 3. Jaden Veith from Ayersville in 4. And Lincoln Woods from Lima Central Catholic in lane number 5. Looks like the young man from LCC, Lincoln Woods, no time, leading the pace here in the first 50. It's a nice split of under 30 seconds.
He's got about a half a lapse lead here. Length of about a half a pool.
He's got a strong pace. He's not letting up. We'll see if he's able to close this one out. With that in the 100, you don't have to worry about pacing quite as deep, but you still want to have enough to sprint that last 25. And we'll see if he can finish off strong here. No time. And he's going to come on just over a minute.
101.42.
Some nice, solid.
Well done.
First time for Lincoln Woods of LCC, Jaden Veith of Ayersville. 1:10.65. About 6 seconds off for that young man. As we head into heat number 2. Well, this looks like it's going to, on paper, this is going to shape up to be a good one. 2, 3, and 4, hovering around that 51, 53, 54 mark.
Lane 1 is Ryan Essex of Defiance. Lane 2, Sam Brose from Anthony Wayne, Max Gottschalk, they've got the middle lanes. Levi Carrier from Ayersville in lane 4. And then you've got Lucas Bennett from Tenora and Hudson Geiser from Defiance.
Lucas, the lone senior from Tenora.
See, his parents were sitting just to our right. Yes, we're giving you plenty of credit. Now we'll see if we can finish strong. Mom's giving me a big smile.
Good first 50 for all of these young men.
I'll say this, Lucas has got a beard. Normally you don't see that.
Yeah, a lot of times
they want you shaved.
Least amount of hair in the pool.
And I'm not just talking your cheeks. Having had some friends who were collegiate swimmers, you lather up your legs, you lather up your arms, you lather up everything.
Max Gottschalk from Anthony Wayne's going to come in at 51.93. That's about 6/100ths off of his seed time, so that's a solid swim for Gottschalk.
Second place goes to Carrier from Ayersville in a time of 54.49.
Lucas Bennett of Tenora won a 1 minute and 15/100ths, so he's dropped 7/100ths for our PR here today.
I'm looking at Carrier, and just from his reaction to the side of the pool here, he's not happy. I know in talking with Coach English, they think he could potentially qualify in this event, but they want him around 50.
Yeah.
Got to shave about a good 5 seconds off that time.
Yeah, and that's when you get out into these meets, that's what you got to look for. You got to start to find, how can I shave that couple of seconds off? It's your breathing, it's your flip turns, it's your starts.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now, and I like the competitiveness. Somebody came up to talk to him, and he said, not right now. He wants to be alone and kind of reset himself mentally. That's the kind of competitiveness that I like in a kid.
Well, we're in for the long haul here as we have reached event number 15. This is the girls' 500-yard freestyle. And this will be 20 laps.
Not for the faint of heart.
Always my kid's favorite event.
Really?
No, not at all.
I was going to say, I don't think she heard you.
She
did. She's just pretending not to listen. This is usually, as a broadcaster, you get to share a few recipes, talk about your day, and admire the endurance that this event takes.
Yeah, and again, it's about pacing, right? So she didn't like the event. I mean, we're talking about my daughter, Jordan, who's home from college, and she swam for, both my kids swam for a dozen years or so, and she swam the 500, what, 3 or 4 times? Handful of times. Not for her. She was more of a sprinter. But it's really about that pace. And Coach English was actually one of her coaches when she was younger at a meet, and had her pacing so far ahead she thought she'd missed a couple laps because she'd finished so quickly. But that's where these at the other end you got somebody counting laps for you, and usually there's some kind of a strategy, like, you know, up and down, go a little faster, left. I mean, coaches have different, some of them don't use any of that, but you know, usually have something so these swimmers have an idea of, hey, do you need to pick it up a little bit? Do you need to slow it down a little bit? You're going to wear yourself out. But again, it's all about strategy when you're talking about 20 laps.
And making sure you don't burn yourself out early.
Right. And again, flip turns, making sure your breathing is staying in place how you want it to be. You know, don't breathe out of your flip turns. That saves you a second here and there. Making sure that you are kicking with your feet fully. Get that nice strong push off the wall. No breathing out of your flip turns kind of thing. I mean, all of those little pieces will help you kind of get through this 20 laps a little bit quicker.
I'm drawing a blank on the U.S. Olympic gold medalist in this event the last, 3 Olympics. And, of course, no internet service right up here. I cannot get it out. It will come to me maybe about 9 o'clock tonight. It's not Missy Gaynor. I'm trying to remember her name, and maybe it will come to me. But I remember the interview they did with her, and she's like, we've talked about this, your lungs burn. But she goes, people don't realize, too, the blood that rushes to your heart in an endurance event like this. And she goes, sometimes when she first started, she almost blacked out about halfway through it. She goes, it's an event that takes usually a long time to prepare yourself for.
Yeah, and you'll see swimmers, and you talk about throwing in baseball and things where you stretch out and you don't necessarily throw as hard as you want right away. You got to stretch it out, and that's what these swimmers do. They're gonna pace themselves at practice. You're gonna have your distance swimmers that come in and they swim.
Katie Ledecky.
Katie Ledecky.
Thank you very much.
Yep, Katie Ledecky, phenomenal swimmer. But yeah, and again, you have to prepare yourself. You can't just jump in the pool and swim 500 yards. It's not going to happen. I I mean, give me about 13, 1,400 breaks, and I might make it. Keyword being might.
Plus, you have to be built for it to a certain degree as well.
Well, and a lot of times you see that a lot of your sprint-style swimmers tend to be your longer swimmers, if you will. They have the wingspan like a Michael Phelps. I mean, they always talked about, how freakishly long he was, wingspan-wise and things like that. Those are really good in sprint meets, in sprint events, because you can catapult yourself through the water so much. But it tends to be some of your smaller athletes that find their way into these longer events, because they're just built a little bit differently. They don't get through the water the same way with somebody with a bigger wingspan is in those sprint events, and they're at a disadvantage. Where here, they can work strategy, they can work pacing and breathing, and really work on some of those mechanics and get a little bit of an edge.
And I remember watching an interview again with Natalie Coughlin, who's another fantastic Olympic swimmer, and she said her feet were a little bit larger. And she said as she was growing up, they thought she would end up being like 6'6", because she was. They kept expecting that bones, that we call it the plates in your feet, and a big growth, and she wasn't. But she goes, in the pool, that's huge.
Oh, it's huge. It's like putting flippers on.
Yep.
And that's something that you'll see some of these swimmers do too. They'll do some of these distance where they put some flippers on, or they'll use a buoy to kind of help them condition for some of the longer events. You're not working as hard, but again, it's stretching yourself out. As we see Mark
Bell
Hall.
lap.
Mark Hall is going to give the bell in lane number 2. That's Addie.
They're congratulating him on the bell too. Nobody does the bell like Hall, right?
There's an art form to it.
Yeah. Now right there, and again, you can't quite see it from that camera angle, but you mentioned it. You've got teammates, and they're laying those placards down, letting their teammates know, okay, this is the lap number 4, lap number 5.
Yep, and then every swimmer's dream is when you get the orange square at the end, because that means you're on your finish leg. And Addie Jaffe, lane number 2, she's going to finish 6:15.14.
All right.
Now, she came in with no seed time, but that is 20 seconds quicker than the fastest seed in this heat. And you can see she's a little labored down there.
She is, but give her time. I mean, she's got the opportunity now to kick back and watch the rest of this. She was that dominant.
And she's going to catch her breath. No sense in jumping out of the pool too quickly.
Don't want to cool off just yet.
You see the rest of the young ladies starting to finish in. A.V. Lingle from Anthony Wayne, no time, finishes at 6:47 and some change. In second place, Katie Miller, Defiance, 6:54.49. Gwen Hibbard, Ayersville, 6:57.61. And I believe we've finished off with
Lane 1.
Brielle Bork from Lima Central Catholic.
Yep.
7:18.99. And now we get to do it all over again with
Absolutely.
the boys.
How do you spell filler? Albinot Bush.
How was your drive today? No.
Foggy. Very foggy.
Well, it's been a weird couple of days with weather. Lane number 1, Garrett Smith of Anthony Wayne, Colin Frick from Lima Central Catholic in lane number 2, Finn Tingle from Defiance in lane number 3, Dylan Shook of Ayersville in lane number 4, and Freddie Mueller of Maumee Valley Country Day rounding out the lineup in lane number 5. It looks like Finn Tingle will lead the pack into the first 50, followed closely by Freddie Mueller in lane number 5.
Top 3 here. Again, this is where it's still so early.
Yeah, and again, you want a strong start, and then you want to find that pace. Find that pace, and you're going to drop off in your pace every 50. I mean, nobody wants to. You just want to make sure you're not dropping 5-10 seconds at a 50. You're going to naturally fatigue. You're going to naturally, it's going to become harder. But you got to stay within a few seconds of that pace each and every 50. So that way you not burn it all out, and then you can kind of close out at the end.
You talk about measuring yourself. This is the race to do it. Have you heard a Michael Phelps story about this?
Maybe. I don't think. Did he ever swim the 500?
I don't believe he did. You know,
He was
good
a
question,
butterfly.
though. Yep. He probably could have swam whatever he wanted and been spectacular at it.
Yeah. You know, I think I told you this last year when we did this. We had the opportunity several years ago through a program, and you have the opportunity to bring Olympic swimmers to do training. And we hosted a couple of those events at the Defiance YMCA years and years ago, and to listen to them talk about their training, to listen to them talk about how much they swim, how much they're in the pool, how much do they dry land train, and then you get to swim against them. And this was the favorite part. All the kids loved it at the end. And I kid you not when I tell you, I watched an Olympic swimmer, and my daughter probably would remember his name before. She's got pictures with the Olympic swimmers that were here, but they would swim against him, and he would literally, he was giving like a 3/4 of the pool head start, and would win. Like, it's
that
unreal.
good.
Yeah, and you almost felt like when they would jump off the blocks, you wouldn't want the flags too much lower because they would go out past the flags. I mean, it's just incredible to see the amount of time and effort. And they talked about the dry land training that goes into,
Yes.
you know, they would go to the basketball gym and try to jump up to the rim. They just stand underneath it and do a simulated. Glad there's no cameras on us because you don't want me. But they would simulate that motion of off the block, but they would do it straight up in the air, and they would use backboards in the basketball gym to measure how far they were getting. And these guys, and I'm telling you, they could dunk on anybody.
Well, and look, it's easy to think about your training strictly being in the water.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of cross training. Name your sport. But again, I don't think people understand, especially with water sports like this, you do a ton of training outside the pool. It goes way beyond that.
Yeah, and it was really a unique opportunity for the kids to learn from these. I mean, these are the highest level competitors that our country has in the sport, competing for the country in the Olympics and at these national championships, and these are just top notch. And for them to come and share and for the kids to hear it, it was kind of eye opening for the kids because they're going, oh, wait a minute, I have to go train not in the pool?
Yeah. I remember, I don't know if the name's going to be familiar to you or not, a gentleman named Craig Lezak, who swam the anchor leg. I think it was the relay where France had the #1 team. Alain Bernard was #1 in the nation. He was swimming the freestyle relay, and he said, we're going to crush them. And it looked like they would, and he swam not only an American record, an Olympic record, but a world record in that final leg. And I remember he was talking about that, and he goes, everybody loves it every 4 years. He goes, come watch us in those 3 years in between. He goes, I promise you, it's not just every 4 years that it's going to be entertaining or enjoyable.
Yeah, it is such a fun sport to watch as Finn Tingle's going to be coming into the bell lap here as official Mark Hall is going to give him the bell. We're going to see if we'll get a good shot of Mark here with the bell.
Yep. Expertly done. Finn Tingle right now has got about a half a pool lead, and he may even add to that by the time he touches the final pad.
Well, and you can see the leg kick right now from Finn Tingle. He's upped he's up that kick. He's trying to finish this last 50 as strong as he possibly can. He's going to get a good turn there on the far end, and now he's got to sprint to the end. 5:36 was his seed time. He's going to be a little bit over that, but nothing to be shameful here.
No.
This is going to be a good swim. 5:41.25, so he's going to come in about 4 or 5 seconds, about 5 seconds off of his seed time. So still a good, solid swim there for Finn. And again, I think some of those middle pacing lanes, he's going to go back and look at some of those times and say, okay, I let myself get behind a little bit. But again,
There's the
here's
problem when you have the lead and that big of a lead. You pace yourself. There's nobody to pace off of.
Absolutely, and that's where you've kind of got to get in the ability in your head to be able to get an idea of how quick you're going. But again, it's tough when like you said, he had a half a pool lead or more for most of this event, and it's just tough when you don't have the opportunity to feel what somebody's next to you is pacing, and you just kind of have to push yourself. Dylan Shook from Ayersville is going to come in here and finish. 6:40. A few seconds off of his seed time.
Dylan Shook, one of 3 Dylans on this Ayersville roster. I said, how do you tell yourselves apart? Have you given yourselves a nickname? They said D cubed. And I said, how about Triple D? Now you would know Triple D, correct?
Yeah.
The show,
Yeah.
Food Network
Yeah.
guy. They had no clue. No clue. And then Coach English goes, the guy with the blonde spiky hair and he drives around and eats. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that show. And I'm like, okay. So I think Triple D really works well, but
They didn't like it.
they didn't know it.
They didn't know it.
So I think we should just go ahead and crown him right now, Triple D. The last of this one comes in.
Well, we are going to crown the end of the 500s.
Well done to both the boys and the girls. Let's see, did you flip here? Where are
I
we
did.
at? You did, so we're on the next page here. We're working our way through this one, event 17.
Girls 200-yard freestyle relay. Now the boys 200-yard freestyle relay, I believe, is coming up in the next event. That's the one is it the 200 or the 400 with the relays in?
For the boys?
Yeah.
It is let me double check here.
While he's doing that, the girls 200-yard freestyle relay, Defiance in lane 1, Ayersville lane 2, Anthony Wayne lane 3 and 4, and Ayersville in lane number 5.
It's the 200 that the Ayersville boys are looking to put their names up on the school record board.
So that'll be coming up in the next event. But we got to get through the girls here, as Anthony Wayne in lane number 3 has a commanding quarter of a pool lead over the 2 Ayersville pilot teams.
Kaylee Sproul is in the water, but they got a lot of making up to do.
And this is tough. I mean, you have to swim from behind a little bit. Now, your first swimmer and your last swimmer are usually your 2 strongest swimmers. But you've got to have solid in the middle. And Anthony Wayne has got one going right now. They're going to get a good split. And their 3rd swimmer in lane number 3, that's Brooklyn Williams, the sophomore. She is cruising through the water right now.
Jordan Beep is in the water for Ayersville.
As is Avery Jones, looks like, in lane 2. Anthony Wayne now, Chloe Johnson, the freshman, going to swim the final leg of this one. Their seed time was 1:54.44. She's going to be close. I don't think they're going to shave any time here, but she's going to be pushing right to it. Yeah, they did.
Oh, she did. Boy, long stretch. That's spatial awareness right there. That's instead of short arming the wall, making sure you know where you are. That made the difference in what? Roughly a second?
About a second, yeah, absolutely. And again, flips, turns, starts, finishes, all of those things are those little extra pieces of the puzzle that can shave off that second or 2.
That was technique that you saw right there. Excellent. Well done. All right, you think they've got a record in them?
We're going to find out here. This is event number 18, boys 200-yard freestyle relay. Ayersville in lane number 1, Anthony Wayne in lane number 2, lane number 3, Ayersville. That's the team that we're looking for.
Yep.
Anthony Wayne in 4 and Defiance in lane number 5. And it'll be lane number 3, Dylan Tressler, Mason Dota, Louis Zimmerman, and Levi Carrier that are on the verge of a school record. So we'll see.
Again, the time they're looking to beat to put themselves up on that record board is 1:35.67. Their best this season is 1:36, so they are close.
They're going to get Dylan Tressler leading the way in lane number 3. and he's got a good pacer next to him in Seth Gregory from Anthony Wayne. That's going to help push him a little bit as Mason Doda will come into the water next, as Brose will hit the water for Anthony Wayne in lane number 2. Doda flying through the water in his leg of the relay.
But Brose really dolphined until the last second there.
Nice quick turn from Doda at the far end. He's out of the water, pushing well with the legs.
About a body length lead.
This will be Zimmerman into the water next for Ayersville. A deep dive off the block, so he's got to come out and make up a little bit of ground. Kicking with the water. Pushing through. Quick flip turn, and off the block, off that far end he comes, and this is a great turn from Louis Zimmerman at that far end. This is going to be a good pace here as they will go into the final leg of this relay.
All right, Levi Carrier, have you got a record in you? This is going to be close.
He's got about 15 seconds to flip the turn.
Good turn, and look at him. Let it loose. Why not? Empty your tank.
They are flying down the pool. It is going to be close. I don't think they're going to get the record today, but they are 136.85.
That's 85 hundredths a second off of their best time this year. Again, they needed to cut roughly a half a second off of that previous best, but they're still in that ballpark, Josh.
Absolutely, and that is a fantastic swim out of these young men in Ayersville.
Now that was worth coming tonight just for that one event.
Yep. So they'll keep working at that, and again, if they can shave that half second off, they'll be at the school record mark for the freestyle relay.
Not only that, but they want to get to state. And they think they can do some damage.
As we head to event number 19. 2 heats of 100-yard backstroke for the girls. Claire Lanahan from Anthony Wayne in lane number 1. Lima Central Catholic's Kendallin Bork in lane number 2. Lane 3, Jasmine Rodriguez from Defiance. Gianna Little from LCC in lane number 4. And Harper Geisler in lane number 5 from Defiance.
And they are off backwards.
Backwards, yes. Underwater streamline coming out.
Bork from Lima, really setting a good pace.
No time listed for her in this event, so swimming a nice pace there. She's got to keep the legs kicking. 100-yard backstroke, so she's not quite through the first 50, and you can see her legs have slowed down a little bit.
Not just that, they're sinking.
Nice flip turn here, and see how much shorter her underwater streamline was there. You want to try, and it's amazing the amount of time you can save with a strong underwater streamline. It sounds weird, but you can glide under the water, and she'll keep working on that. She is a junior for LCC, and you can see her really struggling with finishing this off. She had such a great first 50, first 40, 30, 40, and just kind of starting to...
It takes a lot out of you, and when you see usually when a swimmer's hips start to sink, you know that it's not just upper body, but it's that lower body. It's the legs start to get a little rubbery on you.
Claire Lanahan and Jasmine Rodriguez pushing for second here, and it's going to be Rodriguez in lane number 3, with a second place finish in this heat with a time of 137.98, followed by Claire Lanahan of Anthony Wayne in lane number 1, Gianna Little from LCC in lane number 4, and Harper Geisler from Defiance in lane number 5, rounding out this first heat of the girls.
Barely enough time to catch your breath. You got to get out of the water and let the next heat take their turn.
Yeah, Mark's usually a little bit nice to you before he blows the whistle and gets you out, but well, I guess they've switched sides.
They have.
Amy Grogg's on the other side now, so.
And she is being a taskmaster. Sounds that whistle. Well, every lane occupied.
Pair of Anthony Wayne, pair of Ayersville, Defiance, and Van Buren in this race. And we'll see where the starts go here.
I'm looking right here, Daniela Coble, second best time compared to Ava Gardner from Anthony Wayne. So lanes 2 and 3 look like they've got the...
Yep, and Claire Boyd from Ayersville also in there.
Yep.
Lane number 4, so 2, 3, and 4. And it usually, again, in your seating, 3, 4, 2, 5, 1, 6 are the way they seed the lanes. Never understood it, but
Ours is not to question why, right?
there's something about being in that middle of the pool. Has less effect on you, wave-wise, and I don't know.
Yeah.
That's above my pay grade.
Right now, Gardner, she didn't just get off to a strong start, she is maintaining it.
Yeah, and again, she's a little extra on that flip. Mark Hall watching that flip turn a little closer. But yeah, she's gonna finish strong here. As you can see her start to weave a little bit back and forth as she finishes. Legs are getting heavy. She's gonna finish strong here.
Easily a half a pool length. Time of 1:15:41.
That is 2.5 seconds better than her personal best.
And here comes the rest of the pack.
It's like lane number 5, Mia Garena from, they probably will go some backup times here.
Right
Get
now,
a little soft touch sometimes on the backstroke. But a nice solid swim for all these young ladies.
well, they're going to hustle them out and give the boys their shot at the 100-yard backstroke. And this first heat, we only have 3. Lincoln Woods from Lima, Sam Brown from Ayersville, and Lucas Sauber from Anthony Wayne. 2 juniors and a freshman.
Into position on the wall. And away they go. Again, you see a nice underwater streamline there from Lincoln Woods from LCC in lane number 2. And that's got him with that advantage going into the first turn. Short-armed his turn a little bit though, so.
Yeah. Brown made up some distance going into the turn. He lost it coming out, but he's making it up again here. So I'll be curious to see if he can have a little bit of a cleaner turn this time around.
Well, it's all about that count, right? So you want to make sure you're staying on your pace. You hit the flag, you count to your turn, and Sam Brown will want another try at that turn.
Yep. Came off at an odd angle, actually hit the buoys, and again, in an event where fractions of a second count, he's fallen behind by about a half a body length.
Again, he's going to have to get a good turn and push here. And again, you can see he looked like he got himself a little bit too close. And that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
As you continue to take off time and you're swimming at a faster pace as the season goes on, it's easy to have to adjust that count a little bit because you're getting to the wall a little quicker. So you sometimes say, oh, I got a 5 count, and you're hitting it at 4, 4.5 as the season goes on because you're just picking up the pace a little bit.
Look, in the open pool, I think he was probably the stronger swimmer in that heat, but man, the turns just ate him up.
Starts and turns. So we move on to heat number 2. Event number 20, we're cooking along. Just a handful of events left here this afternoon. Five in the pool here for the first heat of the boys.
Kaylin Freeman from Ayersville in lane 1. Trig Tingle, sophomore from Defiance in lane 2. Nate Burrish, senior from Anthony Wayne in lane 4. Teammate and senior, check that. It's going to be Bennett Ebert from Lakota in lane 4. And then Camden Lingle from Anthony Wayne in lane 5.
We got a good pace going in the middle of the pool here. Looks like Roush is starting to pull away a little bit. And again, you see that senior comes off there with a very smooth turn on the near side. Shoulders are nice and tight. He's got a nice arm circle going.
Yep.
He's going to get that count.
Be a little early on the turn, but again, it's so tough, especially if you're not familiar with the pool.
Yeah, and he's long, you know, so he's got that advantage where if he gets a little early, he still can get a good push. He's going to try to finish off here. 101.93. That's a drop of about a second and a half.
Good swim. And finally touching in lane 1. Freeman will wrap up this heat.
So good swim across the board. We got some drop times for a couple of these young men. And again, that's what you're looking for at this point of the season. Obviously, you want to win your event, but you also want to be getting better because your ultimate goal is sectionals that are coming up in about a month.
So up next, what do we got? 2 in this heat?
Nope, 3.
There we go. Who's hiding in plain sight? This is going to be Amelia Maxson from Ayersville. Addie Comden, freshman from Ayersville, and Ray Newman. We got all 3 underclassmen, 2 freshmen and a sophomore.
And again, this is one of those technique swims, and you want to shoot, get the hands nice and tight, pull yourself through with the kick, the frog kick, if you will. 2-hand touch for your turn, and make that a smooth transition back off the wall. And that's where a lot of these swimmers, especially when you're new to this stroke, the 2-hand touch, it's a simultaneous 2-hand touch on your turns and your finish, and that can sometimes plague new swimmers to this stroke.
And this stroke, as you talked about, you've got to stay compact.
Yeah.
And then you explode out of it. It is, again, would you say it's the second most difficult stroke behind the butterfly?
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably the third one you learn. Obviously, you start with freestyle, you go to backstroke, and then a lot of times it's either breaststroke or butterfly. But again, a lot of times you're going to go to breaststroke because the butterfly is just so taxing on your body, and it's just not for every swimmer. You've got to build up a lot of strength and endurance in order to be able to get that you got to get those arms out of the water. But Adelaide Comden doing a really nice job here in lane number 3.
And she break 135, not quite, 136.64.
That's going to be a nice swim for her. It's going to drop a little bit of time for her. It's about a second off of her seed time. So a PR for Comden in lane number 3. Lane number 4 finishing with Ray Newman.
Goodness. Thought for a second the bleachers collapsed, but apparently everything's okay.
And Amelia Maxson finishing here in lane number 2. Lots of excitement in the bleachers. They couldn't contain themselves.
No, they could not. All right, next heat. Oh, goodness.
Heat number 2, and we've got some really close seat times here. We got Claire Drup in lane number 3 from Maumee Valley Country Day, 122.43. And then Colleen Hildebrand from Anthony Wayne, 123.44. Paula Nora P. from Anthony Wayne, 125.55. And then Claire Johnson and Halen Smith, Anthony Wayne and Defiance on the outside lanes.
I believe that's Polhue.
Polhue.
Yes.
I was just going with P.
No problem.
Sometimes, and you know as well as I do, you want to get pronunciations, but when there's 200 kids to get pronunciations from, you don't get them all.
It's like herding cats at one of these meets, ladies and gentlemen. It's not like you can just go to the basketball bench and there's 15 of them.
Right.
It's a lot more, and they are scattered all over the deck as they get ready to warm up.
See a strong first 50 there in lane number 4. That was Hildebrand from Anthony Wayne, who is what was your time in the breaststroke?
117.
One what?
117.
117.
Even.
It was 116 and some change.
Okay. Well, we got a good two-swimmer race here.
Yep. Lane 3 and lane 4, as we knew, going in close in the seat times. And Anthony Wayne's Colleen Hildebrand is going to take this one here at 121.60. So she's going to drop a little bit of time there.
Claire Darrop on her heels at 124.15. And here comes the last of the heat.
And a good swim in the 100-yard breaststroke for these young ladies.
Yeah, 3 sub-minute-and-a-half performances there.
Yeah, and again, you've got to, it's one of those that you have to work that technique. You have to keep getting that technique a little bit cleaner and crisper.
Lucas Bennett is mugging for us up here before he gets set to go into the water.
He is living his best life
Yes,
on
he
senior night.
is. I'll give him the hang loose. We'll see what he's got in him here.
So he will hit the water here in heat number 1 of the boys' 100-yard breaststroke in lane number 3. I think he's in the wrong lane, unless they
reassigned. Well, we've got an extra swimmer here. There's a 4th swimmer in this heat.
It looks like they probably had somebody drop.
Okay.
So they are going to be reseated out. Looks like Zimmerman is in. We've got Ayersville swimmers in 3 and 4. And then Lucas
Bennett in 2.
2. And your guess is as good as mine anywhere else.
I'm going to say that's, wow. Yep, you're going to have to bear with us on this one, folks, because this is not the heat sheet we were originally given.
Yeah, my guess is somebody scratched, so instead of having 2 heats, they put them all in 1.
Yep.
And we've got a battle here between
Couple of pilots.
Louis Zimmerman and Dylan Tressler in lanes 3 and 4. Looks like Zimmerman's going to take the first 50. And the rest of the pack right on their heels. But again, you can see how nice and compact these swimmers are. Keeping that pace, trying to keep the head still, keep it tucked. And this is going to be a nice, strong finish.
Ayersville's going to finish 1 and 2.
Not going to be getting any personal best here, but they're going to be pushing close to it as Zimmerman will take this one with a time of 1:10.53.
Bennett battling for 3rd here. This is going to be tight, and it's going to be a 3rd place finish for the young man from Anthony Wayne.
Seth Gregory down here in lane number 1. So the boys' 100-yard breaststroke is done and over with, and we are down to our final event here tonight.
Bennett looking up and mugging at us. He's happy with that 4th place finish. Absolutely.
You know what? And again, there's a reason why he's been a favorite around the pool deck for so many years. He's just got that fun spirit about him.
Mom gave him a big applause, and I'm assuming it's grandmom sitting just to her right. So family out and supporting the young man from Tenora here tonight.
And we're going to close this one out. Combined events 23 and 24. It's the 400-yard freestyle relay. So
we're going to wrap this one with one fell swoop.
So the girls are going to be in 1, 2, and 3. LCC, Ayersville, and Anthony Wayne. And then the boys in 4, 5, and 6. Ayersville, Anthony Wayne, and LCC. So it'll be 100 yards of each.
Well, for the Ayersville boys, every single member of this relay was on this same group last year, so they're expecting big things from them. Man, are they off and moving.
Yep, and this is one of those where it's your last event of the day. Yes, it's 100 yards for each swimmer, but it's not going to be a pacing 100 yards. It's going to be a sprinted 100 yards. And you can see Lane number 5, Anthony Wayne's Brennan Jenkins is going to tear this one up. 25 on his 50
Man.
split.
Now, can he keep it up?
Now you can see him. You can see him slowing down a little bit, but
Even from where we're standing, Josh, you can see how red his shoulders are. That lactic acid at the end of a long meet like this is building up.
he's going to try and keep this pace. And for the boys, he's going to come in and lead the way. Ayersville in second. And for the girls, it looks like Anthony Wayne in lane number 3 is leading the pack, with Ayersville, I believe, coming in second, or in second place right now in lane number 2. But again, Anthony Wayne swimmers are really moving through the water here to close out this meet.
In lane 1, we've got one of the Lima swimmers has lost her cap, but it hasn't come off her head yet. And that has got to be distracting.
Yeah, there's two things you don't want. You don't want your goggles to come off, number 1, because you can't see the wall. It's a problem. And when that cap comes loose, it's just in the way.
Yep. This is Gianna Little, who's giving it more than yeoman's effort.
And she has not let that distract her one bit.
Nope.
She's going to get a good turn here on the near side. As the boys,
Anthony Wayne in command. This should be Garrett Smith.
looks like Dylan Shook is in the water for the Pilots. It's always a fun way, you know, the relays are always a favorite of the teams, right? You see the kids on the end of the pool, they're cheering on their teammates, they're pushing their teammates, and that's what this is all about.
For the Pilot girls, I believe Daniela Coble has just hit the water.
It's 2 events in 1.
I was going to say, this is like herding cats. You got the girls in the first 3 lanes, the boys in the second 3.
Anthony Wayne will put, I believe, their last swimmer in for the girls. I'll check that. I believe that's their 3rd swimmer. The boys, I think, are on their final swimmer. Anthony Wayne's boys are going to be running away with this one as Camden Lengel is the finish leg for Anthony Wayne, and Dylan Phipps is finishing it off for the Pilots in lane number 4. On the boys' side of things anyway. And Lincoln Woods, I believe, in the water for Lima Central Catholic in lane number 6.
One last turn as Anthony Wayne almost lapped them. Strong performance at 4:02.86 for the Generals.
And the ladies for Anthony Wayne finishing off as well at 4:08. So
that's really close. Again, I know in a sport where you're talking about hundredths of a second making the difference here, but still overall, my goodness. Pilot girls on their anchor lap. Amelia Maxon trying to finish this off.
You got the Pilots in lane number 2 trying to finish off, and LCC in lane number 1.
This is going to be, this entire event going to finish up in just under 2 hours.
Yeah, and if you include the senior night,
correct,
parents' night at the beginning, it's not a bad night.
Nope. Josh will be sprinting to the drive-through after this one, correct?
Something like that.
Yeah. And there we go. Lima Central Catholic brings an end to tonight's meet. Wow. You want to take a break here and wrap?
Yeah, let's take a break and come back and give us our final thoughts on the evening.
Back right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Westbanco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused Westbanco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
In life, unexpected challenges can test us. If you've been seriously injured in a car accident, you deserve a team that understands. Because your story matters. Call Arthur Law Firm today. We'll fight for you every step of the way.
When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let ServiceMaster Restore work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding. Contact ServiceMaster by McCann.
Stamball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stamball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Superior Credit Union, a not-for-profit member-owned financial cooperative. Visit superiorcu.com to find out more about joining the winning team at Superior Credit Union.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Well, you see him warm down in the pool as we've had a really good moving meet here tonight. Anthony Wayne takes the team title. Defiance, Lima Central Catholic, and Ayersville. And depending on the event, we had some really good competition here this evening. But again, Josh, just a tip of the cap to everybody behind the scenes that helped not only set this up, but keep it moving in really good time tonight.
Yeah, and again, you don't see all the pieces that go into this, but you've got somebody running the Colorado, you got somebody running the computer, you got your officials that are on deck keeping things rolling. Yep. You got the timers at the blocks that are punch and plungers and keeping card time. I mean, there's so many pieces of the puzzle. And, of course, Jared and Phil from the staff here at Ayersville.
Helping get us set
getting
up.
us set up, get us a table and fresh internet over here in the pool area and all kinds of stuff. So, but, yeah, like you said, a great swim meet here for these kids. Again, when we look at timeline-wise, you're about a month out from sectional swimming. It's usually right around that first or second weekend of February. I'd have to go back and look to see exactly where it is. But, you know, this is when you've got to get your best stuff going.
Yep.
You want to fine-tune everything. You want to have those good times so you can get some good seed spots at sectionals before you start tapering and working towards that meet at sectionals. And again, then it's sectionals, and you either go
Sure.
on or you go home. And,
Well, if
and
you want to be peaking, they say don't peak too early. Nobody will argue with a state qualifying time or even a personal best still this early in the season. The question is, if you hit that, then where's your ceiling? Because you expect to continue to get better over the coming weeks. We saw a few personal bests reset here. We saw some close times, and then we saw some that maybe just didn't have their best performance tonight. But like you said, all a measuring stick over the next 4 weeks.
well, and to that point, it's how do you get better over the next couple of weeks, right? What can I do to get better? So coaches are looking at this and going, okay, our turn was a little off on this event. Our starts could have been a little bit better here. You know, are we breathing the right way? Are we breathing out of our flip turns? Are we taking that extra breath when we don't need to? As swim coach once told my kids, breathing's overrated. In swimming, it really is. You want to make the most. It's not so much that you don't want to breathe, but you want to make the most of the opportunity and breathe at the strategic times that make sense. And so that's what you have to look at. As much as it is the mechanics and the technique of the different strokes, it's those little extra pieces that you can trim off a second or two here and there by just getting a little bit quicker, a little bit better at some of those little details.
What you're seeing right now too is very important, and that's the warm down, or you might call it the cool down, but basically got to work that lactic acid out of your muscles, because you don't want to be waking up tomorrow and struggling and losing basically a day.
Yeah, and again, we talked about this earlier. A lot of times you don't understand the amount of effort that you're putting in. You go out on the football field, you go out on the basketball court, you see the kids, you come up here and watch two swim announcers, and you see all the sweat pouring out of them. But when you're in the pool, you don't even know you're sweating because you're in the pool. And you don't sometimes understand the amount of energy that you've expelled, just because it's just a different thing. You're in the pool.
It's a different level of exertion, basically, but still very, very demanding. Josh, appreciate you throwing on the headsets. Like to thank our crew, which is Josh, for getting out here at an incredible hour and getting this stuff set up. We will strike, and what we will be on the air next with will be this Friday night. It will be boys high school basketball, and it will be St. Mary's at Defiance, as we'll be back at the Dog Pound and basically kicking it into overdrive for the second half of the season.
Well, yeah, and you know, now you're looking at, again, league games.
Conference, yep.
You're looking at taking care of business in the conference, and then obviously everybody wants to be playing their best, because we talked about sectionals coming up for this swim group. The tournament and the postseason is right around the corner for all of our winter sports.
Want the best seeding possible.
And you want to make sure, you know, and especially in the way they seed now with the super sectionals and all that, you get to pick your spots and where you get to go and all those things. You want to be able to, you want to be in a good spot to be able to pick the right spot for you.
So what we will do is put a wrap on this meet. Scoop Miller will have the headsets. You'll hear Josh's booming voice over the PA announcer on Friday night, and we will talk to you then. But for Josh Bush, a big thank you going out to our underwriters helping sponsor our broadcast. Folks, if you appreciate the work we do, please patronize those businesses. Walk through their doors. Not only let them know how much you appreciate it, but maybe open up the wallet and spend a little money and say thank you, because without their support, we could not do what we do on a regular basis. And as always, big thank you to you, the fan, for tuning in. For Josh Bush, I'm Brent Balbinot. You've been watching live from the Ayersville Natatorium, another presentation of DCTV Sports.